Hi guys, I'm here to bring you the new DLC content for Total War Warhammer, the Grim and the Grave. Let's go ahead and check out the new Legendary Lords that are included. Okay, so let's first look at the Legendary Lords for the Empire that we got. We got Volkmar the Grim, part of the DLC. He's a melee fighter. You can put him on a war altar, and he has powerful upgrades for the new Flagellant unit that is now released into the Grim and the Grave. He has reduced upkeep for him and increases their weapon strength. His starting units is a new Renown unit, the Tattersouls, which is a upgraded version of the Flagellant unit, the new Knights of the Blazing Sun unit, and the new unit of Flagellants. And that's the only new thing that came out, or new Legendary Lord that came out for the Empire. So let's check out the Vampire counts. The purchased Legendary Lord that comes with the DLC is Helman Gorst. He's a Necromancer, and you can put him on a Corpse Guard mount. He has a huge replenishment rate for his army, and everything in his army has poison attacks. He starts with a unit of Graveguard, the new Corpse Guard unit, and a renowned unit of Direwolves called the Dire Pack. He isn't quite as powerful as Heinrich in the Necromancer world, but he is still pretty powerful and has great bonuses for replenishment, and everything having poison attacks is pretty awesome. The free Legendary Lord that came out with this DLC that everyone will get will be Vlad von Karsten. He's a melee fighter. He knows the lore of vampires, and he's got the 5% increase to his movement range that a lot of the faction leader Legendary Lords have, and every unit in his army receives Vanguard. He has a unit of Fellbats, who starts off with Blood Knights, which is ridiculous, and a unit of Vargeist, which is also kind of ridiculous. He has a lot of regen and health regen in combat. So he's kind of like Manfred. He has quite a bit of a lot of fighting actually. The only thing that I would say, Vlad is not as strong of a spellcaster. Okay, here we are. We're going to check out the new units and the renowned units that came out. Let's just start with, let's do the Swordsman. Also, a new thing they added is this, you select one unit, and when you mouse over the next, over here in the stats area, it will give you what the unit you're mousing over has better or worse than the previous unit. So the Sigmar Sons is a renowned unit of regular swordsmen. As you can see, they have more leadership, melee attack, melee defense, weapon strength, and charge bonus. And one of their main differences is the fact that the Sigmar Sons are unbreakable, which is helpful. You don't want your front line or something like that breaking, so you can throw them in front of maybe like your artillery or something like that, and you know that line won't break, so they can't really get through. So that's always nice to have. Flagellants is a new unit that came out with the DLC. They are a damage dealer, frenzy, and unbreakable. They have no armor, and they deal quite a bit of damage. They suffer from not having armor, so missiles are very good against them, and prolonged, unsupported melee combat will definitely see them to their death. But they have the augment for themselves, where they can get 12% physical resistance and melee defense. Frenzy, so they get extra melee attack, charge bonus, and they're immune to psychology as long as they are at high leadership. They're unbreakable and they can hide in forest. So the Tattersouls is the renowned version of the Flagellant, and you get more unit size, some melee attack, melee defense, and charge bonus. And that's the only difference between the two. I'm not quite for sure sold yet on the Flagellant unit. They're kind of weak, but I think they definitely have their place in destroying unarmored units. Another new thing they introduced is the Free Company Militia. They are a mix between swordsmen and handgunners. They have shorter range than handgunners, but they still do the same amount of damage. The only thing is they don't have armor piercing like the handgunners do. And if you mouse over the regular swordsmen, the swordsmen have more health, more armor, more leadership, and more melee attack, more melee defense. So they're a little bit better in melee combat than the Free Company. And if you mouse over the handgunners are a little bit better for range. So they are a middle ground between the two. But they do come with Vanguard deployment. So that can be helpful. Flanking from the sides with decent melee attacks and then the ability to shoot. The Vanguard version, not the Vanguard version, the Renowned version, Sterling's Revenge. They do come now with armor piercing and stock, so they can hide in any sort of terrain, and then not just like forest. They come with a little more leadership, more melee attack, more melee defense, and some more missile damage. And like I said, they also come with armor piercing missiles, and they are immune to psychology. Let's see. They also have a renowned unit of handgunners called the Silver Bullets. Slightly more range, even slightly more missile damage, some melee attack, melee defense, and some leadership. But they do now have stock, so you can hide them in any terrain. I don't know. Oh, and they do have magic attacks for the range. Compared to the regular handgunners, I don't know if they're really more worth it, but they definitely, with just having magic attacks, could be more useful if you're fighting like vampire counts or something like that have the ethereals, so that can definitely screw with them some. The renowned unit Rexguard is Zentler's Rexguard. More leadership, more melee attack, more melee defense. It's kind of standard across these upgraded units. They do now have Vanguard deployment, so that can throw people off, having some Rexguard coming in from behind them, and they're immune to psychology. Yeah, so other than that, they took an already good unit and made them just a little better. So they are probably worth their 200 points. And the new unit, I'm going to compare them to Rexguard. That's their closest comparison. Is the Knights of the Blazing Sun. If you compare them to Rexguard have more armor and more melee defense, but less speed, melee attack, weapon strength, and charge bonus. Also, with Knights of the Blazing Sun, their melee attacks are flaming, and they also have magic resistance by quite a bit, 40%. So it's more... I'm leaning more towards Knights of the Blazing Sun are better at this point. Just because, yes, you are sacrificing armor and defense, but you do gain magic resistance and definitely more offense out of them. And plus they look cooler. Demigryph Knights with Halberds have a renowned unit, the Royal Altdorf Griffites. More leadership, melee attack, melee defense, pretty standard. And then the only other difference is they cause terror instead of just fear. So, I don't know if that's necessarily worth it for 300 in custom battles, at least. 300 right here, I don't know if that's necessarily worth the investment in them. But it does still make a already good unit just that much better. The Great Cannon got a renowned unit, the Hammer of the Witches. It's got more leadership, melee attack, melee defense. Now it has magic attacks and a little bit higher ammunition count and more missile damage. And a bonus damage to large targets. And they also have physical resistance by 25%. So I personally like the Hammer of the Witches. I think it offers enough for the price. You're already going to be trying to shoot at large units anyway, so now you get a bonus damage to it, plus it does magical damage. Which in those cases where you're trying to shoot, I think the only thing that really matters at this point for magic attacks, vampire counts, their ethereal stuff, it gives you another option to take out some of the new units that came out, as well as just the hex race if you wanted to try to shoot at them. So personally, I like them. The Hellstorm Rocket Battery. I don't know how I feel about this one. Just the regular version. The renowned version is the Sunmaker. More leadership, more melee attack, more melee defense, some more ammunition, and nearly twice the missile damage. That's almost making it worth it. Just having so much more damage. Still, unfortunately, it has poor accuracy. So that is unfortunate. And it does now do flaming attacks. So now with a lot of the new vampire count stuff, basically almost like half their stuff now has some sort of regeneration. Having flaming attacks just is super helpful. It does cost quite a bit more. I don't know. I mean, you are getting double the damage, so when it does hit, it is hitting really hard. I'd almost say it's worth throwing in. So the Luminarch got a renowned version, and it really didn't gain too much. It has a little more leadership, a little more melee defense. Or it didn't gain much in the way of stats, I should say. But what it did gain is Encourage, so it's sharing its leadership. And it got the spell, the net spell from the Lord Light, which is quite helpful, where you can lock down enemy units, and then they can't, or you can just blast them away with either the Luminarch, or you can blast them away with the any of your ranged units. Okay, let's look at the new things for the vampire counts. So they have a new unit, or not a new unit, it's the renowned unit of zombies called the Tithe, sorry. They're bigger units, so more HP, more leadership, speed, melee attack, melee defense, and charge bonus. So they're a little better there. And then they do add, I think, one new thing down here, and they get 15% more physical resistance. So just for 100 points, it's a better zombie unit, which in the end could be a little better for you if that's what you want out of your zombies. You want them to hold things up, so these will have more bodies, be a little more resilient, and a little faster. That's always nice. Then we have Kongerstein's Stalkers, which is a renowned unit of skeleton warriors. Right off the bat, they have poison attacks, which is nice to have. Slow people down. Slow them down, reduce their weapon damage, missile damage, reduce their armor piercing damage, and their vigor. Other than that, they have more armor by quite a bit, actually quite a lot I should say. Leadership, melee attack, melee defense. So I would say these are definitely worth it. Even though they're twice as much, but the extra armor and poison attacks is worth it in itself. Crypt Ghouls also got a renowned unit. The Feasters in the Dusk. Not more unit size, but just more HP, more leadership, speed, melee attack, melee defense, and charge bonus. They gain Vanguard and they gain Stock, so they can deploy almost anywhere, and they can be hidden in any sort of terrain, not just forest and whatnot. Definitely a good unit of Crypt Ghouls right there. Grave Guard. Standard Grave Guard also got a renowned unit, the Sternsman, which I think is really worth it. They have regeneration, charge defense against all, not just like smaller units or whatnot, but they have it against everything, so even cavalry and whatnot. More leadership, melee attack, and melee defense. And I think the only thing down here, yeah, so just they added regeneration and the charge defense. Really worth it. Really great unit right there. And then they added a Black Knight. Black Knight with Lance and Barding, the Varix Reavers. They have regeneration, which is very nice. More leadership, melee attack, and melee defense. Other than that, they didn't add anything. I think they're also worth it. Regeneration makes it worth it, basically. Vargeist got a renowned version, the Devils of Schwarzenhofen. I think they just got Vanguard and Cause Terror, more leadership, melee attack, melee defense, and they already had Frenzy and whatnot, so they gained Terror and Vanguard. So very nice. Very nice thing for Vargeist. So a new unit, the Mortis Engine, also has a renown, the Claw of Nagash. Stats wise, there's nothing different. They just added magic resistance by 25 and this chilling aura to to reduce the speed of enemies within 45 meters by 36%, which is nice. So the standard Mortis engine causes terror, has the 3 undead traits. It replenishes hit points of the allies nearby, causes damage to enemies, and improves the power recharge rate of. It should improve it around any wizards around you, so that's nice for vampire counts who have quite a bit of wizards, and it has regeneration. I also realized that I skipped the Hex Race. So the renowned version of Hex Race is the Chillgeists. A little more leadership, melee attack, melee defense. They dropped flaming attacks, but instead they got magic resistance by 25 on top of their 75% physical resistance, and they gained the same chilling aura as the Mortis engine of the negative 36% to speed for enemies around them. Still have Vanguard and all that other fun stuff. Again, just made a pretty good unit even better. Another thing they added are the corpse carts. Standard corpse cart, you have 15% missile resistance. They cause fear, they can hide, 3 undead traits, they can regen, and they have this vigorous mortis, which increases the attack and defense of all allies within 45 meters of the corpse cart. So that's just the standard one. They have an upgraded version called Corpse Cart Bellfire. The only thing it adds is the Bellfire, which affects all enemies within 45 meters, reduces their power recharge rate, and the more enemies within the 45 meters, the reduction is greater. I don't find the Bellfire as useful. I like the Unholy Lodestone better, which the only thing it adds is over the standard corpse cart is the Unholy Lodestone, which says that all allies within 45 meters get replenishment to their HP. So it's a mobile regen cart. No corpse carts should ever see combat, or you should never put them in combat. They make see combat. Same with the Mortis engine, really. They also should not, you should not charge them in. They are all considered chariots, but they are not meant to be line disrupting chariots. So that's the units, and I really do like a lot of them. They do have good stats, like the Graveguard one, Hex Rave. Man, I also forgot the Direwolves. So the Direwolves have renowned the Dire Pack, and they get leadership, melee attack, melee defense, and other than that, they added anti-large. I don't know, 150 points. I'm not sure. But I do like Direwolves. They are very handy to have. Like I was saying, that one, this one, even this one, are all really worth it. But, yep, so that's the unit review from the Grim of the Grave.